Brandy, where are we going?
To AmericaFest! To interview people!
You work for TPUSA.
Yes, I'm a regional lead for the new movement, Turning Point Rise.
Do you guys want to just kind of go around and say what you do as well?
Oh, we're here with the Rise branch. Yeah, we're volunteers with the Rise branch of TPUSA. Yeah.
So we wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel the Charlie Kirk investigation is going? Do you believe what the mainstream media and what the government are saying, or what is your opinion on what's going on?
Me personally, I don't trust the government. They've lied to us countless times. It is countless times again and again. Like, it just took them a whole year to release the Jeffrey Epstein clips. We can just go on from the Kennedy to Martin Luther King. There's so much the government's lied about us. So I do not believe that they have full authority or control over the Charlie Kirk's murder investigation.
I agree with you.
Do you guys have any comment on that?
I kind of think the same thing. I do think that Candace is trying to uncover a lot, and I didn't agree with her at first, but we've been listening to it in our hotel room, and it's kind of like, it's kind of clicking, it's kind of making sense. So I don't really have an opinion on which one I believe in more, but I'm definitely leaning towards Candace's, and we're definitely doing more research about his whole death and assassination.
We love to hear that because we love Candace. We think she's speaking the truth.
We've been listening a lot, and just right off the bat, you're like, all right, something's not right. The pieces aren't coming together. Just everything from the camera angles that people were seeing, to the outfit changes that were kind of weird. Everything was kind of just not feeling right. I just don't trust it. Especially working under the impression that he was acting alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really buy it.
Yeah, I think when you have a high profile assassination or even assassination attempt, and there's automatically a story about it the very next day, you can't just do that, especially with something so big like that. The fact that people weren't even willing to go into depth. A lot of people, I think, they got the story they wanted to hear, and it was the easiest thing, and they just took the ball and ran with it. And I think, shout out to Candace, because it took a lot of balls, I'm going to be honest, to actually go in depth and uncover it when everyone else is kind of just running with the mainstream story. And I don't trust the mainstream story at all, especially with a high profile assassination. Even if it does end up being the story they've been telling us ends up being true, which I'm willing to believe that after there's been a thorough, completely open, unreleased investigation about it. But until that happens, I'm not going to believe just what they say.
I agree completely with that. And I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about Deverian? You first. How do you feel about Israel?
I think our government spends too much money on Israel and giving Israel $58 billion when we can't take care of our own homeless veterans and people and healthcare down here. I think we have a lot of politicians who are actively being bought and paid for by AIPAC. And our government or somebody has to do something about it, because AIPAC actually controls both sides of our political party. They donate $100,000 to even state races. It's just insane what they do. The amount of power that they have in our government is insane.
Do you think Turning Point, their support with the mainstream narrative that's being discussed on the media, do you think that it's a little suspicious, or do you think anyone within Turning Point is maybe involved?
I do think I would say with any sort of big event like this, especially a big tragedy, it's important to look at who benefits from it. And that's a pretty good way to figure out, basically who would be very happy that this tragedy happened, or who is put in a position of power now that this tragedy has happened. And I think those are the people you should probably look at first when doing an investigation. Whether that is people involved with TPUSA or not, I do think it's very important that you kind of set your emotions aside and you look at, okay, this is a tragedy. Who directly benefits from this? And I think you should take a look at those people.
Always. I completely agree.
Yeah, for sure. I think we just don't know enough at the moment to be throwing any aspersions at anyone. But I think as long as things are coming to us with clarity and transparency, which I'm not really seeing right now, that's good enough for me, to be honest.
So Ben Shapiro spoke yesterday, right? And then Megyn Kelly kind of called him out. Steve Bannon called him out. Candace Owens called him out on her episode today. Do you think most people like him, or do you think people don't really care for him?
Me personally, I would say that the younger crowd, we can see through his bullshit. So we didn't clap. We didn't do nothing. We booed him. But for the baby boomers and the older crowd, they were, let's go, Ben, let's go, Ben. But for me, with my stance, I'll say exactly what Candace said. Fuck you, Ben Shapiro. That's my stand.
I love it. I love it. What about you?
The whole point of like Turning Point is to bring people together, whether you agree on everything or don't agree on everything. And I honestly think it was really disrespectful to the Kirk family and to Charlie Kirk's legacy to go out there and divide everyone when the whole point of bringing everyone together in this festival is to unite us, regardless of what we believe in, and to have a civil conversation. So him not having any civil conversation and just shitting on people in front of 30,000 people, disrespectful to Turning Point, to Charlie, to his family. Like, it's just disrespectful in general. Yeah.
Okay. You want to state your opinion too?
Yeah, like first of all, Candace isn't there, so I don't know why we're talking shit about her at AmFest. But also, like, especially with Tucker Carlson talking right after you, no need. Like, it's just no need. It was just really disrespectful. Didn't really appreciate it.
Kind of have no respect for Ben Shapiro. I think he has dual loyalties. I don't think he would care if American soldiers died for a country halfway around the world the size of New Jersey. So, again, I just think it was cowardly and disrespectful.
I guess I wanted to ask you guys about your opinion on Erica Kirk. And I know she's the CEO of the company that you guys are volunteering for, working for. You do have anything that you'd like to say?
I probably wouldn't comment on it. I just really haven't done any research, and I would want to say something educated, but I will say my condolences. So
I know there's so many theories and so many things floating around. I don't want to put anything in her direction until it's absolutely proven, because I think there's a lot of things that we don't know. What we do know is, like, especially like coming from a biblical perspective, it talks about like how taking care of the fatherless and the widow is like a huge priority throughout the entire Bible. And so until there is something like definitive that it's saying like, hey, she was involved, whatever it may be, like, I think giving her grace and like showing compassion first is probably the best way to go. Because like, if you're doing your own study and research, you are totally do that. But to like put her in the line of fire before you actually know anything for sure is kind of disgusting. Because if you're wrong, you just like shit on this woman who lost her husband like 3 months ago.
Like, we were talking about this the other day, that she's like, people are like, oh, she's so performative. Like, she's putting on this like whole act, and like, why is she acting like this? But like, the woman just lost her husband. You know what I mean? Like, she has a presence on social media. She was in the spotlight for more or less. Like, she was on, like, if she was in interviews, like, she's on social media. Like, she was this public name, and she just lost her husband. Like, you can't expect her to just go up there and like sweatpants and a sweatshirt and just be like, yeah, guys, like, just start crying. You know what I mean? Like, you have to just let her grieve in her own way. And she wanted to keep AmFest and keep what Charlie Kirk did before he died. She wanted to keep it going. So, I mean, obviously she's going to be, performative.
For me, I love Erica Kirk. I'm ready. I'm excited to see her leadership. I think she's going to be an awesome, wonderful CEO. I'm ready to see her take Turning Point to the next level. I think, like Charlie said, she's a stronger conservative than him. So I'm actually ready, and I'm excited to hear her leadership and actually unite us again. So I think there are people like Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin and everybody like that who's trying to divide us. I think that Erica can be the one that unites us for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. How are you guys liking AmericaFest so far?
I think it's going pretty well. It's been pretty exciting. I like the speakers and everybody.
Who was your favorite speaker?
Probably his name's James O'Keefe, right?
Yeah.
James O'Keefe.
James O'Keefe? Yeah, he's great. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your opinion on how the Charlie Kirk investigation is going?
Honestly, I haven't really heard much about it. Like, I heard they caught like a suspect a while ago, and that's all I've heard.
What's your opinion on it?
I mean, I wish that there was more transparency, but a part of me also has to respect and appreciate that there needs to be discretion to make sure that things are not being stained, or, that they can keep everything pure and be able to keep the jury from being too biased on everything. So I don't know. I'm pretty torn about it.
How do you feel about Candace Owens' opinion? And then you have what the government's saying, what the media is saying. What's your opinion on Candace's take?
I can appreciate that she has an opinion. She's more privy to things, obviously, than I would be, or, just the general public who loves and appreciates Charlie Kirk and the entire conservative movement. But I do think that there's a time and a place. And sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And, someone who does have a very personal connection with Turning Point and with Charlie Kirk, I think that, just listen to your heart, listen to what God is telling you, and just, be respectful and loving and kind in all ways that you can. And I wish that she would lean into that part a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so, I don't know if you follow Megyn Kelly.
very much. I was just listening to her.
I love Megyn Kelly. I think it's interesting. She kind of took a little bit of a turn because Brian Kohlberger, is that his name?
Kohlberger. I'm not up
At
to
the
date.
college.
Oh, okay.
So she was covering that case like significantly
Yes.
before he was convicted. But now she is saying, oh, we shouldn't be covering the Charlie Kirk case and talking about it because it's going to taint the jury pool. But yet she was talking about the other case before he even was convicted. So what's your opinion on her swap on that?
I think that is definitely important to bring up because I thought the same thing, that it was odd, that there's obviously, they should be treated the same in some regard. The only difference I would probably say is that, with Charlie Kirk, it felt more personal to more people, that it's something that has had a massive impact
in the whole world.
The whole world, where every violent act is sad and should be condemned. But this one it hits home for so many people in a very personal way, whether we knew Charlie or not, which we didn't. But to broadcast every detail of his, I think it's going to cause some harm in the investigation process, and we need to allow for the investigators and the criminal attorneys and everything to do their job without having to worry about, well, let's make sure that the public knows every minor detail about this. We all would love to know, but I'm also, part of me is okay knowing when it's all said and done too.
And do you trust the government and our mainstream media to tell us the truth?
That's a tricky question. No, not really. No, I don't. But who's to say they're going to tell us the truth before it happens too? I don't think the time is relative to getting the truth. It's about the sources for sure. And I think that Megyn Kelly and, all of these others who can be privy to getting the proper information from the proper resources, that's who I'm going to trust, is people from the conservative side. But, I'm okay with letting everyone do their job and following up and doing my own, digging and down the rabbit hole after. And I'm going to listen to everything from every side as well, so I have stuff to compare it to. Right. I think that a lot of people need to do that.
Last question. What is your stance on Israel?
And
you can answer this as well if you want.
I haven't done a deep dive into all of it, at a very intelligent level. But just as, a normal, bystander on all of this, I would say I'm in the middle, but I lean more toward pro-Israel and having to support them. I'm not in favor of being part of any foreign wars, but I do believe that in any capacity that we are capable of, that still protects the American people and our resources, I think that we need to at least align ourselves with Israel. I am a Christian. I know that that's where Jesus came from, and I want to protect the homeland, so to speak, and make sure that it stays intact and it is sacred. But we just, again, there's just a proper way to do things. And at a certain point, you also have to make sure that we're protecting our resources and everything. So I don't know, maybe with Trump's tariffs and everything, we'll have enough resources to, take care of things properly. But I wouldn't say let's not have a relationship with them. I think we need to maintain a good standing relationship with Israel.
Okay. Do you think that Benjamin Netanyahu is committing a genocide in Gaza?
No. Genocide? When it's a war? I don't think those go together, right? Like,
Your opinion, yeah. We're just asking.
I don't think so.
And what's your thoughts on it?
Pretty much new to all this, to be honest. So I don't feel like I can answer it like thoroughly.
Okay, so how old are you?
I'm only 17.
Oh, I love that you're here. So you brought your son. 17. So you're kind of just getting involved in politics. So I love that. I love like the younger generation is coming and they're getting more passionate about what's going on in the world. So that's great. Just keep learning. Not to pressure you to ask you difficult questions. Well, thank you guys. Is there anything else you guys would like to say or?
Well, thank you for having us on the podcast.
You're welcome.
Apparently, Turning Point's being attacked, unfortunately, even after Charlie's death, which is very unfortunate.
So that's actually what our YouTube is about. We're kind of like we started it about the Charlie Kirk investigation. Do you have any opinions about people like Candace Owens, what she's saying?
I mean, I don't like what Candace Owens is doing, and not that I am against asking questions. I believe in asking questions, but I believe in innocent until proven guilty. And if there's any, even if there is suspicions, I have not seen any hardcore evidence of what she's saying. And I just think it's appalling that Turning Point is having to deal with this after dealing with Charlie Kirk's death. I think that they're trying to promote what Charlie's doing. I think they are, or trying to finish or to continue what Charlie started. And I think they're a very worthy organization. I don't think that other people's lives should be threatened, though, that support Turning Point, and that's what I'm seeing happening. That's what I find very unfortunate.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Regardless of where we disagree, I agree with you that people's lives should not be being threatened. Have you seen any of the theories that maybe Tyler Robinson, the accused shooter, was not necessarily acting alone?
I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't acting alone. I don't think any of us know what happened. I don't think Turning Point fully understands what happened. I don't think the FBI fully understands what happened. But I do not believe that Turning Point was a part of it by any means. And I do not believe that Erica Kirk was a part of it by any means. There's hatred against Christianity. That's the reason why Charlie was killed. But there's also hatred against Israel, and Turning Point supports Israel. So, at least that's what it seems like to me. Again, ask questions, but don't threaten people's lives. And people's lives are being threatened by what Candace is doing.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. You are okay with what Candace is doing, which is asking questions, because she's not threatening anybody's lives. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're just not okay with people reacting to Candace's claims and then threatening lives. She never necessarily is like, I know this for a fact, unless she does have proof.
Well, she is accusing Turning Point when I don't see any evidence. Have you seen any evidence that Turning Point's a part of anything? I don't see any.
Yes. Have you watched any of Candace's full videos since she started her series on this?
I've seen clips of things that she said.
The texts from 2 days before Charlie was assassinated saying that he was going to be leaving the pro-Israel cause. Have you seen those?
Yes, I've seen that. So look, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. So I support Israel, but I do not support everything that Israel does. Okay, like I'm a conservative. Now that does not mean that when a Democrat is in power that I no longer support America. When Barack Obama was president, when Joe Biden was president, I still supported America, but I didn't support anything that they were doing. Well, at least not 99.9% of what they were doing. I see a lot of confusion saying that if you support Israel, then you support everything that they're doing, which I do not. And from my interpretation of Charlie, he had a very similar view where just because he supported the Jewish nation doesn't mean that he supported everything that they were doing. And he did write a letter to Benjamin Netanyahu trying to say that he should explain his side. I believe it was like in April or May. I think what Charlie believed is that the pro-Jewish side was not communicating their side very well. But I believe he supported Israel. I don't believe those texts mean that he did not support Israel. And so,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, interesting take. Do you believe that the feds, the U.S., are always transparent and honest?
No.
I like that. I do like that answer. I agree with you. Have you seen the information that's been coming out about the head of security of TPUSA, along with Erica Kirk, having attended a very important meeting with lieutenants and other high-up military people in the days prior to Charlie Kirk's assassination?
Again, that's not evidence, that's speculation, because that could be them trying to enhance the security, but they weren't successful. Or, I mean, I've heard things like they requested having more drones, but the college did not give it to them. I mean, I don't know all the facts, and I don't think anybody does. But again, something like that is a perfect example of not evidence, but speculation. Okay. So, I mean, even in this interview, I've just seen speculation and not hardcore evidence. So, right. What I also believe is that God is just, and that what happened to Charlie Kirk, if it's not just in this life, it's going to be just in the next life. God wants us to try to enforce justice, but within our own power. Like Thomas Jefferson, I believe, said, the reason why we believe in innocent until proven guilty is because I would rather have somebody who's guilty, not be convicted than for somebody who is innocent to be convicted. I think my point is that God wants us to enforce justice where we can, even if we don't know completely what happened to Charlie, and even if Tyler Robinson was not who killed him. I don't think God would hold it against anybody except for the people that are involved for not knowing exactly what happened, because God understands our limitations. If we understood what happened to Charlie and we didn't do anything about it, then God would hold us accountable for that. I believe in justice 100%. And if somebody else killed Charlie Kirk besides Tyler Robinson and we're able to figure it out, then yeah, by all means. But again, going back to what Thomas Jefferson said, if more innocent lives on top of Charlie Kirk's are being threatened, then this is creating a problem with what Candace Owens is doing. It's kind of like what President Trump said about the COVID-19. The vaccine was creating more problems, it seemed to me, than the disease itself. The solution was creating a bigger problem than the problem. You don't want a solution that creates a bigger problem. Like you said, I do not trust the feds, but myself either. I mean, I do believe Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I believe it, but I see no reason to highly suspect otherwise. So
yeah. And first of all, I just want to say that I love what you're doing, spreading messages about God and Christianity in general. I fully support that 100%. I guess my last question is, do you think that you are maybe subjected to any bias?
Do I think I'm subjective to any bias? Well, I mean, everybody is. What doesn't make sense to me is how intelligent Charlie was. It doesn't make sense to me that he hired all the wrong people. Everybody, including Candace has said that she believes Charlie is intelligent. It doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, maybe one mistake, maybe two, but to mistakenly hire all these people that turn on him, and Candace herself says that Charlie's intelligent, doesn't make much sense to me.
He just got stabbed in the back, and so did Julian Seed.
But Jesus knew he was going to.
Do you think that it's possible that Charlie knew that he was going to, and that's why he was sending all of these texts out to people in the days leading up to his death?
Anything's possible, but it's like I would say it's a 0.1% chance. I mean, you could disagree what the statistics are, but if other people's lives are being threatened because of a 0.1% chance of something happening in a different way than what we have perceived, I don't think that's worth it. So,
okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
I recently started a YouTube channel called Focus on Eternity. So just search, on YouTube and then Focus on Eternity. You should be able to find it.
Okay, so what is your name?
Keenan.
Keenan. Okay, so what is your opinion about the Charlie Kirk assassination?
So I think that there's a lot of information that's out there. I'm not 100% sure what's true and what's not true. There are some things that it just kind of seems a little like uneasy, like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Some of the things, and it seems like maybe it could have been a cover up for something a little bigger.
Yeah.
I wish that they would definitely do their due diligence to investigate it further. And maybe they could find something different. They could find a different lead, because I feel like the investigation was really quick. Like it was within the week. They were like, "Oh, we have the guy."
Did you know that they covered up the crime scene on Sunday and the shooting occurred on Wednesday? Like they literally paved over the crime scene on Sunday at UVU campus.
And that was before the incident or after?
No, Charlie was shot on Wednesday, and then on Sunday they paved over the crime scene where he was shot at.
Oh.
Which is very bizarre.
Yeah, that seems a little. I mean, that could be coincidental, but I'd feel like for something like an investigation of an assassination, they'd want to keep everything out of there.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories that are out there, and it's a rabbit hole that you can dive down into, and you could be down there and find so much stuff. So
how do you feel about Candace Owens?
I mean, she was like Charlie's
best
friend, and I feel like if anybody would know Charlie best, it would be her. And I kind of feel like maybe there's maybe she's just getting a bad rep because she's doubting the facts that she's being told. So I don't completely agree with the way that she's being treated. I mean, she's Charlie Kirk's best friend. They worked together. They started TPUSA.
Exactly. Yeah.
So for them to say that she's talking out of her behind and doesn't know what she's talking about, it's like, oh, that's kind of that's and I kind of feel like for her to be actually trying to find what really happened, and for Erica to kind of just be like, oh,
stop.
She kind of just accepted it and moved on. And I feel like it's, I didn't really go for Erica anyways. I didn't go to TPUSA for her. I really am kind of sick of, seeing her on all the Fox News and stuff. It's just more of the same. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Okay.
But I definitely think they should do a little bit more thorough of a job.
Yeah,
So.
I completely agree with you on that. Yeah. How do you feel about Israel right now and the theory that maybe Israel is involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination?
I'm not 100% sure on that. I know there's a lot of speculations. There's a lot of conspiracy theories you could go down.
What is your theory about what actually happened? Do you think Tyler Robinson acted alone, or what do you think actually happened?
Well, what I saw was right before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he started to flip his view on Israel.
Well, he texted people in a group chat 2 days before he was assassinated that he had no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I thought. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just an uneasy feeling in my stomach.
Same.
Like something's kind of being maybe covered up. Something bigger is happening. As time goes on, I'm sure more stuff will come out.
Hopefully.
About it. We can hope.
I mean, look at JFK. We're never going to actually know the truth about that.
Oh, I think we all We all
know.
We all know.
Yeah.
We all have an idea.
We all got to catch a
Getting,
flight. So thank you so much for
thanks-
doing this.
yeah,
Really
thanks for-
appreciate it.
Thanks for interviewing me.